It's not always true, of course, but ban phase underway, and we will see Clubhouse. And well, Club often a map that could go either way, really, but it really depends on the bans to see what way it would be.
Well, everybody's saying good luck, have fun. It's all spread out across. Let's see if that kind of comes through, because I guess fun is maybe a strong word for T1 season.
Yes. they've had some signs of potential, right? They came up against Cloud9 and everybody was like, oh, okay, 7 that's closer than most of the teams have gotten against Cloud9. And but afterwards, unfortunately, weren't able to put up much on the board anymore, however. And well, that's a shame, because we really hope to see T1 improve throughout the season.
For sure.
Many opportunities they've had to come up against relative weaker teams, pick up 8 points, maybe 2, but never were really able to close out a match or at least force it to go to overtime. And now, well, there's not much for them on the board. They are currently dead bottom of that bottom of it as well. So, you know, they might be looking towards the end of the season now. All right, end of the 3 stages, that is. They need to get every point they possibly can. And playing against Guts right now, that could be a really good start.
Well, opening up in Church and Arsenal now, obviously we are finding ourselves on Club. It's a pretty known map. It's got all of its familiarities well worked out, which could work in the favor of T1 here. It gives them that potential, that groundwork of defaults to build themselves upon and, I guess, get into the fight and get into the potential ferocity that it can offer. Obviously, as you said, they were a surprise against C9, and I think statistically they were the only team to get the opening round against C9 as well. I don't think anyone else managed to do it across the season, and I think that comes down to not being expected, like that lack of expectation. And if Guts have the same thing here on the same mistakes and T1 start to build some momentum on their defenses, they might be able to put themselves in good stead for this game.
10 seconds to insertion.
They might be indeed. T1 need to play their best game here today. They need to show the world, they need to show APAC that they do indeed have what it takes to compete in this league and be victorious, because so far, as we mentioned many times before, no points yet. And the only very consistent player that we have been seeing so far is 11, the one who, you know, you said it, I believe it was last week on Villa. Oh, he's not had the best of games yet. Proceeds to ace on the back of that. You know, just to prove you wrong. That's the kind of player he is.
Yeah. And literally 10 seconds before he pulled off the ace on Villa, I was like, we haven't really seen a big oh, there he goes.
Oh.
But
11.
I guess let's see how things come together here. Obviously, Guts Gaming, they were able to pull themselves a good win against Fav on the last showdown, and some of that came down to big kind of potential plays of Crazy Papillon, who was able to get himself into these situations time and time again. 11 finds himself under the first bout of pressure here. Obviously, Yeti and Revi aren't too far away, shouldering the mantle of Red and Cash itself, but the push is otherwise coming from the opposite side. Think of how much time is being played right now.
I was going to say, are they trying to fake the fact that they would be on the top floor whilst they're clearly on the bottom? Because right now there's a lot of utility and a lot of manpower of Guts Gaming trying to hunt down these 2 roamers, with Yura now cutting off the 1 rotation they have back towards the site. It will be a suicide mission for these 3 players here on T1, and they're going to try their best to try and make something stick. But Revi will go down first. Yura picks him up, and now Yeti and 11 will know, all right, we're being held down. We need to be very careful on the steps we make, on the plays we try to approach. And as Yeti is looking to get himself stuck into those red stairs, he's surely being hunted down sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you hear the drone make its way around, get some bullets into Sledge, gives the game away. They're still holding the bottom, though, so there is nowhere they can go. They have to take a fight, and, well, Yura's there to lock it down. 1 minute left, and they've already found 2 bodies on the top floor. 11, obviously, was in a situation where he could have popped out of there and has done, dropped himself down oil and got back to the site. They went for a big time waste play, and to be fair, they wasted a lot of time, but now it's a 5 versus 3. They've just got to pressure their way down onto site, and Guts aren't wasting any time opening up the angles. It looks like they might be going out for this pressure around Kitchen itself to just feel how the remaining bodies are stacking up underneath them.
You have a Replica trying to go for the vertical angle there, not succeeding. Impacts will be tossed in, but it might be too late to get both these Selmas. Zero on 1 HP, dropping down Blue into Oil Pit, it looks like. 11. Maybe the one to potentially challenge that. There's 13 seconds left. One smoke canister left on the likes of Vamos, and very often, very many are trying to be repressed. Back to C4, landing right underneath Crazy Pappy, and it's going to be great. That's going to be the diffuser dropped, and it's only up to 11 right now. He just needs to get the one that's planting. He's running for it. But Lily will be catching him off guard right before he's going to be able to flick onto the man defusing. Saving the round right here for Guts Gaming. That C4 could have been very bigly if they were able to follow up with it on the second kill onto the man that was going for the defuse plant.
I mean, it was a bit of a mad dash scrape there at the end. Obviously saw the light at the end of the tunnel of somebody planting and tried to get into the position, but well, they were just paying a little bit more attention, had that extra body count, and obviously Euro led them from the Roam Watch, getting the 2 bodies and then finding a third on site the site itself. 11 found a body, but unfortunately nobody else was there to try and offer any support. CC, they head up to the top floor to try something probably a little bit less debonair than a deep hold off site.
All right. They had a bit of a CCTV take, or hold rather, on the likes of T1 previous round. I have to say similar to the last round. Sorry, Milos. I know you're going to be smacking me over the head for saying that. Either way, T1 is going to be trying to do a bit of the similar, bit of similar approach, but this time play more people on that top floor. And of course, due to the fact that the bomb site is actually going to be there, look at this, 11 just tossing it in right there, landing right underneath the feet of Crazy Papillon. It's just unfortunate that he wasn't going to be able to instantly reply onto the guy that was planting right after, because otherwise that could have been a T1 round straight away, the opening one. And on defense, very welcome. You do not want to lose 2-3 rounds in your attack, or in your defense rather, from the get-go. It's not helping you.
I do like you saw him lift off the diffuser there when the C4 landed in front of him, but
it's too late already.
Yeah, a little bit too late there. But Guts Gaming, huge pressure, huge pace, and huge ability to pick apart. If that was attempted as like a psych out hold, they didn't fall for it. They wanted to shut it down very quickly. They set themselves up with the cover on the rotation, as you pointed out. That was the most important first step, because then as soon as they started to apply pressure elsewhere, those 2 bodies, there's no real safe place for them to find a retreat or find an escape out of this situation. Again, if we're talking standard holds and setups, this is pretty familiar. They're putting some pressure onto construction pretty early on as they stack up, ready to try and catch this bandit out. The roll comes through. It catches one. Revy might be able to make it work, and he does! The dangerous dance perfected.
Really weird right here. You see, they're planting it right before the EMP even goes out, and it's even off-synced as well. There was no way that was going to work. That's the second one? No, they're going to try, though.
It's a dance.
It's a dance indeed, and picks it up, guns put it back down. There you have it. That is going to be yet again the exothermic charge. However, the Selma this time around will explode, but look at the utility used. All 3 Selmas, both of the exothermics and 2 of the EMPs, they will have to force themselves through this one push right now. There is no option to open up into construction because of the fact that they messed it up the first time around.
Yeah, what they got to make it work. And JJ, he makes it work. 2 on the entry. Light gets 1 more. 11 finds a body back, yet again able to stop them. Replica joins them. 11 is caught out, and it just leaves Replica on the top of red. JJ gonna try and stick the plant, but Papillon doesn't mean we get there. Guts, they exploded onto the site there.
I was gonna say, like, oh no, you know, only the breach is open. They have no option to go for a double push now. And before I'm even done explaining, they already have the full site. No, they just took it. They full send it. They managed to get the kills out of it that were necessary to get that plan down. And even read perfectly that 11 was coming up for the flank up onto the garage stairs. We're able to pick him up as well. And that's 2-0 now for Guts after a bit of a, well, bad job on opening up the wall. They made up for it very fast.
Okay, Gym Bedroom 2-0, and it's just huge amounts of pace here that's coming through from Guts Gaming. but it's pace that's twinned hand in hand with that perfect little dabble of confidence. They know that they can swing in on gun skill, and they know that they can drop anyone that gets in their way. It's always been the forte of their play, and here the music is as loud as it ever can. T1 find a way to just get a handle on that opening spread, that opening slew of kills, because so far that's twice we've seen both bodies dropped in the opening first 2 kills be against them.
And it doesn't help you at all if you lose 2 players straight away, not even able to find a trade. It only snowballs from there on, and well, you saw it. 2 people, 3 people, 4 people all just rushing down that one little opening they managed to create into the wall. No one holding it, no one locking it down, and somehow Guts Gaming get away with it. Managed to get the plan down, end the round. And T1, they decide to continue their rotation. Gym bedroom, as you just said. It's going to be the jacuzzi wall, the next objective that Guts need to open up. And, well, JJ already in position. I believe a EMP will shortly be tossed in as well. Is there anybody tricking is the question? No, it's just Mew Jammers located on the other side of the wall this time around. So that wall will open up very quickly this time. You see the rest instantly swapping around to go for a CCTV cache take. So they want to go in from 2 different sides.
Oh, the spread is there. There's also the body obviously playing just near that hatch, inside the center, inside the mix and the rubble. The hard destruction comes through uncontested this time, so they won't find themselves losing more than ever, but they still obviously roll that out for the safekeeping. They know how good T1 are at stopping that progression, and maybe there was a mute jammer just around the corner. Either way, it didn't seem to stop the exothermic. Still setting up on the opposite side, by the looks of it. I think we just saw somebody maybe move a bit of utility potentially, but well, you always knew that there was going to be pressure from this side first. You set yourself up for that extension. Can you dig in is the most important part.
There you have it. Selma's being used, trying to dig into cash as Lily holding off the rotation, spots the elbow. So we're going to be able to find the kill as of yet, however, but we'll be able to get it on the second chance, and it's like we'll go down. It looks like there might be a response finally, as Revy will be able to pick him up. I believe there was a Frostmat. Actually managed to catch the ace off guard right there, and with 70 seconds left rather, Steve won this time in a 4-on-4 situation. Finally able to find a return kill onto Guts Gaming. And they just need to make a stick. They need to keep these trades on and even take the advantage if they want to win this round.
Well, how are they going to reevaluate now that they have been proven that they can bleed? Obviously, those Selmas had already been used. They still have the potential, I believe. Yeah, 1. No exothermics. No, they've used the Selmas on the opposite side. There's nothing to make that any wider, but to be fair, it didn't stump them before. The difference is 11. It's playing close and aggro. If Yura gets the read on this, he might be able to get a quick swing down on the body that's deep. Oh no, it went the other way. 11 takes care of Yura whilst he's still hanging. Dropped before he could even dip, and 11's taken that moment to find himself back further down the stairs.
Definitely so. JJ now trying to go for a bit of a vertical, hoping to take care of the Frostman. Will successfully do so, but Lily will go down in these last 10 seconds. Just looks like it's not going to be happening here for Guts Gaming, as Revy with a double kill from the jump out onto Highway. Able to pick up both the kills right there, and that is going to be the round here for T1 after Guts Gaming was starved for time, and finally the response that we're looking for. T1 on the board.
That's it, and it came on Gym Bedroom, of all places, a site that was often seen as the third. It's really found itself growing a bit of prominence based on how well teams know CC and how well, obviously, teams can apply pressure onto Church and Arsenal. But you can't just win off the back of one defensive site. You have to dabble in a little bit more of that against the board. I'm curious to see if we have this high extension they did. Obviously, the 3 bodies up in CC last time. I feel like they're not going to replicate that.
I don't think they will either. Yes, they stalled out some time, but the fact is they were too easily cut down by the members of Guts Gaming. That's the big issue there. Like they did well on stalling, right? But if you lose out 2-3 players on the back of that, that is not really something you're looking for to consistently try and win rounds on the back of it. So T1 might be playing a little bit more safe, but whilst we say that, there is only 2 people on site, 3 people actually. Yeti's still there. It looks like it's going to be maybe rotating out. And are we seeing the reinforcements actually this time inside CCTV? No, they left
No.
it soft. So we're not going to see the same extension confirmed now.
No, they obviously are still playing the Mozzie up there. That's pretty standard. It's 11. He knows how to gun, and it buys a lot of time and wastes a lot of potential drones. JJ's aware they're punching a window, wants to pre-fire and make sure they don't get caught by the others, but he still has those Mozzies in pocket, those spiders ready to catch any of the drone flies that might dip too close. He seems like he doesn't want to play it too aggro, I say, as he peeks multiple windows, but he's not staying up there. As soon as the pressure started to come, he started to get closer and closer to the oil pit drop. He knows that they're coming for him quickly, and he knows that he's a life much better wasted down at the site. I say wasted, utilized is probably a closer word, and he drops before it gets a bit too hot.
Just about 40 seconds off the clock now, and Guts Gaming trying to still find some control. Crazy Puppy on opening up the door towards that kitchen hallway. Maybe trying to lock down and soon start to open up vertically as Lily's making his way down on those stairs soon. TJJ, see light, Heart Breachers both on that board. There's a total of 5 tools to use for it. Surely the hatches will be opened up, and maybe we will even see a triple wall take. That is something we haven't seen quite often, but there is definitely an opportunity that Guts Gaming might want to go for it, because if you look at how they're stacking themselves up currently, it looks like a very heavy bar side take. And well, if they do decide to drop the hatch and walk down the main stairs, then why not open up the wall as well with the amount of heart breach they have available to themselves?
Well, it's starting to drop now. As he said, those hatches were popped open pretty quickly. They're waiting for the response, and 11 is always probably the first responder you want to hit that mark, and it's actually Replica that gets dropped first by Lily from above. Big loss. Yet again it falls, and Lily finds a second as Revy has dropped 2. Maestro, and that Alda's taken out of the equation now as 11 finds himself back around the A box, digging in and hoping the support can come from the opposite sides. Euro with a big rotation down oil to apply some of this split pressure as they stack themselves up on dirt too. Why not diversify the push and, well, get yourself ready for this death drop against only a couple of players left.
Ooh, do they have another summer left? No, they do not. So the kitchen hatch will stay closed. They can only use it as a little bit of an angle to go through. And there you have it. Light and JJ are pushing through. The exothermic will be placed on the triple wall right there behind the black box. And that is indicating exactly what I said. JJ is going to be running in 3, 2, 1. There you have it. Going to be trying to go for the plant right there. 11 is going to be trying to stop it. That's a C4 to come in. And that's a diffuser drop on the ground right now. 20 seconds in a 2v4.
Well, 11 was caught in a very dangerous location. Vamos, his attention was brought over to the dirt tunnel by the explosions on the wall, but it's actually dropped somewhere else. Now we're in a post-plant situation, same place, just on the back of church, waiting with the drop there. He pre-fires a bit, see if he can catch anybody, but they're well aware of his location. It's the man on the main door that gets them. Lily for a triple on the round, and Guts for a triple on the board.
APAC Guts getting their 3rd round. Taking down that last final defender. As they did go for the push. C4, however, dropping down that diffuser. It's just very unfortunate. T1 in that moment in time when they dropped that diffuser do not have a man count to back up the amount of pressure they just managed to generate. Because, you know, it's all nice if you drop the diffuser in the middle of the site with 20 seconds to go. But if you're in a 2v4 situation while it's happening, it's not really going to be helping you out, especially not if 11 is going to be picking you up instantly, or being picked up instantly, rather. And now it is 3 rounds for Guts, 3 rounds on their attack, and T1 decide to go back to CCTV cache. They're continuing their rotation, and well, with the knowledge that, of course, Gym Bedroom will be opening up again next round. They are very desperate, however, to make sure they at least get a second and even a 3rd one on the board. That would mean that T1 now needs to do everything they can, be flawless, get these entry picks as well, or trades at least, to make sure that they stay competitive.
Can T1 just find a little bit more? Obviously, 3-3 on the turn of the half isn't the end of the world nowadays in club. We are seeing a lot more success from attacks, but 4-2 against a Guts Gaming defense puts you in a very dangerous place to try and pull some success out of this. They were never massively expected to be able to, obviously. When a team that's already secured in the top 4 on the last play day goes against a team that hasn't secured a single point, well, you have expectations for how the game's going to go, but it does not mean we won't see a performance from T1. They are obviously playing, you know, when you're kind of at the bottom, everything is played for a win. So let's see if they can try and make some of that into a success story.
Yeah, they're trying to trick again, but this time the exothermic, I believe, will be going off. Revy had the opportunity to go for it. I think there was just enough time, but will again be opened up, and the man with the iron sights hoping to see whether or not they're going to go for an aggressive push again, just like Guts Gaming did the last time around. They were attacking this site. 2 minutes left on the clock at a 5v5. It's not something they're currently wishing to do, and instead going for a bit of a rotate. Of course, has already been created by, I believe, the sledge of Lily, allowing them to push from the bedroom site now, and that's exactly what Lily and Crazy Papillon are going to do.
Now, this is actually going to be a curious round, because in some people's books, including theirs, this might actually be their A take. Obviously, the last time we were here, it was successful, but their hard breach definitely wasn't described as successful. They lost a lot against that bandit on the wall, and, well, they just kind of had to force their way onto site, and to be fair, it was their successful attack. They got in, they got kills, and got that diffuser down. But here, when they have all the options all the time and all the plans have been going well to plan so far, is this going to be the same story? It starts with the same opening line of Light being able to get a body dropped, its replica gone, and now they're looking towards that close wall. The concern of the hatch underneath, they're going to make sure it's droned and clear. There's not currently anyone playing around there, and Yura's making sure this split gets held. But for now, with a minute on, they have themselves in a very good position.
Have a good position indeed in 11, trying to go aggressive, hoping to spot one of those hooks to know where the repel would be coming from. And well, here's Yura just scrolling along the side of that plateau right there, hoping to pick either Yeti or 11 up, whoever goes most aggressive first. Is Vamos to get the kill. It's Lily to drop, and it's a 4v4 right now. An injured coming in. It's a double kill from Vamos, trying to go for the shotgun, even more aggressive. Spots the leg, but it's going to be hard to get the kill, but he managed to get it anyway. A triple kill from him. It's only up to JJ and Yura now in these last 30 seconds.
Vamos with a triple kill. He is putting pace down, and Yura, well, he can't quite catch Yeti inside. JJ is all that's left of this attack, and they seem to know exactly where he is. That's going to give some of the idea away, but with 15 seconds and no diffuser, it's a long march up past the smoke canister, and Revy's at the top. Well played, T1, and 3-2 as they find themselves bringing a much more solid defense towards what was, I guess, a much slower attack in the grand scheme of things.
They have indeed. Like last time around, they messed up their hard breach. Not the time this time around, but they went for the rush instantly back then, and this time they held back. They slowed down, and of course, Revy was watching the breach, but it might have still been an opportunity, of course, that you just outrun them and outgun them. And, well, they decided to not go for it. T1 able to put that second round on the board. The one I said at the start of this round they would need, together with this one. They need to get this one as well. They need to get Gym Bedroom if they want to be competitive for the remainder of this match. You need to get at least a couple of defensive rounds in. And, well, as the frost is being brought out instead of smoke, they're expecting some window hops potentially to occur and hopefully to shut them down as a result. And we also have that Capcan coming in, so there's a lot of traps being used right here for T1 to at least try and chip down a little bit on the HP point, or hit points. It's not HP points. That's,
HP points,
that's
yeah, that's...
Yeah,
it's like saying ATM machine.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, try and take away some of those hit points to make sure that the eventual kills and eventual gunfights are going to be a little bit easier in the last dying seconds. And also people might say, why do you bring Capcan? It's like so easy to spot. Yes, same for Frostmat. But the thing is, if you're under pressure, if you're starved for time, you will not be looking whether or not there is going to be a trap on that door, because you need to enter, and you need to enter at that very moment.
You say that as a person who loves to play Capcan as well.
I don't play it often, but I love to see Capcan. I definitely do.
Big old fan of a cheeky Capcan.
I definitely am.
I'm just bringing in I'm just referencing the times that we play the unranked stack that's undefeated. even though you get beaten by medics who is on 2000 ping.
No. I was actually right above
fine.
medics with 0.5 rating, 0.05 actually.
Yeah, medics
even though
was
he
on
was
2k ping,
2000
couldn't move.
Yeah, that's
Talk about not being able to move. That thermite charge for now as they hear the Thatchers go off on the opposite side. There's the call, there's the pop, and there's an empty balcony. They're not going to risk that initial firefight from someone swinging around and potentially lobbing a C4, and rightfully so. There's a lot of other business they need to get done, and they're going to make sure they do it in good pace. Here comes the second side and the split of this push. That's the mute, obviously stopping that explode, but it means as soon as the call comes through, they can get this popped and get this wall open. Locked is all these angles now as they find themselves up to, yet again, a reinforced wall, but yet again, a huge amount of pace. Hey, there's a Capcan trap.
They spot it out as well, so they're going to be able to at least take care of it before entering there, or will just be avoiding the entry after all. 11 still playing from below, has that C4 available. We all know how important that can be, as Yeti gets a great double kill. A very important one at that, as Lenny Crazy Papillon will both fall. Now see, I believe that is Light trying to go for the aggressive peek and will be able to get that kill. They're back to a 3-on-4. At least they have the opportunity to go for the plant right now, and it's exactly... Oh, no, wait. Of course not. They're in gym bedroom, so a lot of time is being lost right here.
Yeah, gym bedroom. They're putting a big push on the other side. There's obviously a minute 15. They did get Jacuzzi open. Now they put it to a 3 versus 3, and they're making sure they can get some angle of approach. 11 suffers a little bit, but he's still standing, and that's always a big bit of fear for any team that's going up against them. Obviously led by the big plays done on the Jaeger on the top of red stairs, and Revy dug in to the best of his ability, but the amount of time and pressure that they've already been able to take out of this attack, those frags are gone. Thatcher, well, he's done his job so he can rest, and it's down to the remaining 3 to see if they can try and get this diffuser down.
Yeah, there is a very spread out hold though, but I do know that Replica is inside logistics office, and he will be picked up by Yura, and now leaves it in a very difficult position here. Oh, the Frostman, no, they managed to get one nonetheless, and with 30 seconds, there is enough time to go for the pickup, but they need to move right after.
Well, that was something we watched from above, and I could hear medics chuckling in my head there as you watched him creep closer and closer, but they keep pushing on. They find 11, and it's just Vamos. Had a big play previously, drops the diffuser carrier, keeps pulling back, finds one more, looks for the final one, 12 seconds, goes in with the super shot. Euro with the pistol is the one that locks it off. Guts Gaming for 2 for the turn of the half.
Almost went so huge right there with that Frost, able to pick up 2, somehow missing the shot with that shotgun right there. Look at the HP as well that the member had left. And Guts right now set themselves up perfectly for the remainder of this matchup for the second half, for them to potentially reach that 3rd place, get the better seeding into the playoffs. Of course, already confirmed they were already, after Demon Kia lost their matchup. They were safe to play. And right now, we'll choose to go Church Arsenal straight away. There is no pressure on them to perform. Of course, they want to get that 3rd place. They want to get every point they can get, because you never know if it will matter at the end of the season when all 3 stages get, you know, tallied up. For now, Guts in the lead.
I'm in such a habit of calling the secondary shotgun the Super Shorty, just because it's such a catchy name. Like, I don't care about Ita Meh.
The ETA 12S.
Yeah, it's the ETA 12S. Meh. Super Shorty. It's just
yeah.
I think every gun.
It sounds more fun as well.
Yeah,
Shorty.
Every gun should have a fun name.
In
the game, probably not in the real world.
Yeah. Yes. No, I get that. Oh, look at this again. Here you have it.
Could have been one of the best clutches we've seen.
It could have been one of the best ones indeed. And
that's
the
that
Captain Trap there.
Off, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of damage I was talking about. You want to chip them down, so you need 1 or 2 bullets less. And look at that, just a headshot coming in. Euro just in 20 HP. He was the one that stabbed into that frost mat earlier on. Literally a little zap away, and he's trying to go for the pre-fire with that ETA 12S. Not able to land it, unfortunately. Giving around to Guts. Almost managed to clutch it up right there. Almost a hero play. And now it's Guts Gaming on the defense themselves. It's T1 to go over to the attack, and they need to show what they're made of. A lot of the drones are pre-placed on that top floor, surely telling the team, all right, no one seems to be roaming up there. Do not have to worry about it. As Yeti is just holding down into secret on blue stock. Surely they're trying to start with the vertical play very soon.
Yeah, I guess it's now down to the questions are going to be asked of T1's attack. Obviously, it came down to some heroic moments, and they, to be fair, almost pulled it back to a 3-3 off the back of those. But that energy has to be translated and capitalized on your attacks. You have to be able to hit them with the same pace. JJ is expecting, obviously, the full potential of this kitchen push. Light is buried deep in dirt, but bringing the warden gives you one eye an idea on what they want to do, which is utilizing all of those canisters in the pocket. Vamos has those smokes to make things a little bit more dicey and decisive. There's a couple of frags for danger, but Kaid, for the first time today, I believe we've seen those claws in action, and it does make things very difficult without that Maverick on board.
Gonna be making it very difficult indeed. Gonna have to try and get a grenade in there, and that is the job.
What am I talking about?
Oh yeah, of course.
I always forget that he's
Thatcher
sometimes allowed.
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, like, he's so rare. There it is. There's Thatcher. That makes the Kaid claws. Yeah, cool. When Thatcher's on the board, yeah, it's not that challenging. That's why you don't bring Kaid. It's just once in every 1,000 games on club he's allowed in.
Yeah, they tried to trick him. You know, they attempted it. 2 of those EMPs were used. However, now there's nothing left to EMP because I don't think Crazy Papillon was able to grab both his claws back. Just has 1 left now. However, can maybe trick with it a little bit. Not quite sure if he's going to succeed in doing so. Probably will be interested in keeping the triple wall close, as Ravi still has an exothermic left, and he starts deploying it right now on the left-hand side. It is going to be the electric clock going on. Oh, there's no EMP to follow up with it, and that means it gets tricked. You had an EMP left on the side of T1. Why did you not use it?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a blow, but we still have all of the Selmas in pocket for T1. If you talk about teams that have got a better balance of their utility, well, this is one that opens that flat line all the way across, and there's big angles that Papillon is making work for his favor. JJ puts pressure onto the bottom of the door, but it's Light that locks it off. Cold diffuser, and he's looking for one. He doesn't quite see him. No! Caught by the twin fire. There's Papillon to lock it off, get the double. There's a pistol round a corner, but Papillon for a third. Puts Guts Gaming on their 5th.
Little bit stalled for time right there, T1, I dare to say, because they only started opening up that triple wall with about 25 seconds left. And of course, there could be plenty of time, but if you are lacking the picks, you're going to have to get the gunfights down into your hand as well. And that was not the case right here. As Guts able to win that bottom floor and will now be going to Gym Bedroom to try and put themselves into a match point. To secure themselves that first point, to secure themselves at least the opportunity of going for the full 3 and taking that one away from T1. But at this point, T1 would just be happy with a point, to be fair. I don't think they really are like going into this like we are going to win this straight away. I think like they're just looking for something right now.
I will say, if they're able to pull one more round, according to Dez's stats, in case I'm wrong, it's Dez who's actually wrong, but I don't think he is. He loves stats. If they pull one more round, T1, they've matched their average amount of rounds across the entire season. As in,
that's not good.
It's not been a great season. And it's one of those sad things because we're seeing them heat up as the season's gone on. We're seeing them put in really good showings and these really good moments. But if anything, it kind of exemplifies how tough this league is, how tough this region is. Obviously, we've got the new system this time around where it's not the kind of Swiss system where it was a lot of backwards and forwards with the old, when parts of them were in scars and parts of them were wherever. It's this new kind of, this is the league, this is the play, this is more familiar with a lot of the other regions, and this is them trying to keep pace and step up to what is, in no two ways, it's a tough region.
It is a very tough region, especially for a lot of these players who literally will be playing in T1 for the first one. Not just T1 as in the org T1, but I actually meant Tier 1 stage for the first time. And well, we have gone to the universal format for the tournaments, which is the best of ones, single round robin, of course, with overtime, and 2 points for an OT win, 1 point for an OT loss, and of course a normal 3-0 for win and losses. But hey, T1, we didn't expect them to be top of the table. We might have expected them to get a couple of points, but damn, this is just as much a experiment as well. They were invited to the league due to a dropout, of course, just to put ourselves back up onto the complete 8 teams to go for the complete round robin. And well, they need to make some changes here and there, maybe in roles, maybe in the way they play, but that is something that will come along the way. It's not going to be was never going to be easy for them. So we just try and see the positive points. We try and see how they improve, and who knows, maybe in stage 2 will be a completely different beast.
Lily has pushed Selly back. The Clash is trying to hold on, but realizes, well, there's not much more I can do here. The Frostmat is taken care of. T1, they played that game, and they're, for now, not going to fall into the same trap and problem as their opponents did. But if we're going to talk about how close it was on the timer previously, we've got to look at it now. A minute 20 is on the board. That's still a good chunk of time, but in the same manner, in the same breath, they haven't been able to get Jacuzzi open, or haven't tried to at this point in time. They haven't put any presence outside on the southern balcony until Replica literally just dropped there. Now this is the start of them trying to actually capitalize on the site, and the close timing was what previously cost them down in church in some ways.
60 seconds left. The grenade will be tossed in, but not dealing too much damage down to Lily. Smoke canister will be used, however, to try and stop Yeti from jumping in. Cushions are coming out, but no one there to follow up with it. A bit of wasted utility here on the likes of T1, and another one being used, and still nothing there to follow up with it. It's a bit of a mistake that we're slowly seeing start unfolding. 35 seconds left. They do need to drop at some point. There's still going to be that Clash that is just standing there. They literally toss everything at it, but there's no one to try and get the kill as a result.
JJ's holding close with the shotgun, hoping they swing round. Flashes are going to start to drop, but until the bodies come, there's not much to follow up. Finally, 2 of them are putting pressure, but it's JJ gets 1. Euro finds 1 in the meantime. 11 and Replica puts some bodies back down, and 11 is trying to force his way in through the gap that was previously made. Vamos has a cross angle. We've only got 10 seconds left, and we've only got 1 Guts player. No! There's actually 1 T1 player, 2 Guts players, and, well, if there's anything that is 1 in Guts, it's 1 more round until they secure this map.
6-2 is what we're at right now, and it is going to be a potential 7-2 sweep coming in here from Guts Gaming, taking down T1, showing and ending their season on a high, making sure that they're going in that 3rd place, playing for those playoffs, hoping that they're going to be able to rally up a lot of the 6 invitational points that are well, supposed to be given away up there. Was the goal of any of the 8 teams going over to the playoffs, and the 2 teams that will be playing in the championship matchup.
Okay, T1. Everything else today, as it's always been, is just try and get something out of the playday. Try and push yourself to a level you haven't been able to hit before. Unfortunately, it's against a tough team that, well, at the start of the playday had more to play for, and by the end, well, they still got something to play for, but it was positioning more than potential promise. So I guess, what can we see in this final round? No huge amount of diversion in terms of the utility, in terms of what's being brought. That makes sense. It's club. There's not a huge amount of change you can kind of put forward here on the CC push as well. But as we said before, there's often a reason it's the 3rd site for a lot of teams nowadays.
There is a reason often, yes, and that is especially when you're playing with a Thatcher on the board. It's just impossible to keep that wall closed, and it is going to be a given that that will be taking place in probably the next 50 seconds for T1. Anything less than that, or anything more than that rather, is considered pretty slow, meaning that they, you know, are going to be putting up these EMPs right here. Might actually use the Selmas as well, on the likes of Vamos, and well, we should be expecting to see a little bit of a double opening going in. Here you have it. The Mew Jammer will be stopped, and it's going to be synchronized. There's no way you can trick both. So the Bennett would have to choose, if there was one, that is.
That's it. They didn't even try and trick it off the same way their opponents did. They expected that wall to be open, which, to be fair, a lot of teams do nowadays. Even with the mass heroics of the Bandit play earlier on the side of T1, they still got the wall open and still were able to clear their way onto site. When they didn't dedicate themselves to it, they were able to actually take the round. The second time round, we were in CC, so Guts Gaming, they're playing with the expectation of it's going to be open. Instead, they set themselves up. That Goyo just on the lip between Lounge and Garage is ready to swing on anybody as he actually creeps around closer to put pressure onto the door, hops away, potentially realizing he was picked up as the pressure starts to come in aplomb. The long eye watching Lounge means JJ's rotation is in a tough situation. Euro 2, who's playing around the bottom of the blue staircase, could potentially try and swing up somewhere, but either way, none of it's going to be comfortable.
It's almost like they expected a push from the garage coming down. A shield down on the bottom of garage is going to be protecting a potential push to come through, and as yet he gets taken down by JJ. That's a very good start right here coming through with about 74 seconds left. Somehow we'll be rotating all the way around. Not quite sure what the plan is right there. Maybe to toss up a C4 onto the staircase if they would be able to take control of the player that is playing on top of rafters. T1 not really having that control yet. There's still a player out there. I believe it's Lily that is just peeking up and down sporadically. As Revy's still holding down to that main door. He will be waited upon by Yura in the bar. He'll be able to pick up that kill as well. That's a 5-on-3 situation with 40 seconds left.
2 bodies dropped in that lounge entrance, and they knew where both of the players from Guts were, and if that's not synonymous with the problems that have echoed synchronously throughout the hallowed halls of T1 play, of just not quite being able to step up to these big gun challenges of APAC North, well, it's another story and another body drop. Papillon on the top, 11 is able to at least find one and himself inside the site as Vamos tries to keep pace and get some cover behind them. They are being watched continually by that camera. We just saw a C4 ripped, torn and blown. It's Papillon that locks it off. Vamos round the backside of red, gets one, gets a double, goes for the third with a pistol. He has no more time, decides to stick it, and with that timer passing over the top, Guts Gaming almost missed it, but lock themselves in at 3rd place.
I was going to say, checked. Sam just quickly went to the other side and was like, oh, wait, it is the ace planting down there.
Wait a second.
Imagine if he got off and managed to get the clutch done for T1 right there. Again, almost we saw a hero play coming down from the likes of T1. And it would have been its 2nd one if they managed to stick both, but unfortunately not the case. And Guts are going to be the one to reign supreme here today. They are going to be the ones to end in 3rd place of stage 1, and they will be going to playoffs, even though that was already confirmed earlier today.